You're listening to the Boo Boys podcast.
All right. Well, my name's Dalton.
I'm Ivy.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Joey.
I'm Alan.
And we're the Boo Boys. This week we're going to go ahead and jump into two different topics. Hopefully we'll get into two topics. We'll see just how off script we get. But topics are going to be the Suicide Forest. And, of course, as per tradition, I'm going to butcher this name, but the Shuten-dōji, which is a demon that we'll kind of get into and I'll tell you guys about.
All right.
Well, don't be too excited, guys. Gosh.
Is that the one you sent me earlier?
Yes.
Suicide Forest, oh boy.
I mean, demons are cool.
Demons are cool.
The demon sounds pretty cool.
I'm still just trying to wrap my head around the name. How does it go?
How do you spell it?
How do you spell it? Yeah.
Y'all do this on purpose. It's SHUTEN-DOJI, and it's Shuten-dōji. Fuck you guys, because I Google translated it.
Is it Shuten-dōji?
It's not it's show.
Shuten-dōji, okay.
I don't know. One of those.
Shonen Jump.
I speak Chinese.
Shonen Jump. Got it.
Shonen Jump.
Alrighty.
Yay.
All right.
So the Suicide Forest obviously is not what the forest is legitimately called. It's just kind of what it's nicknamed. It's actually called the Aokigahara Forest, which basically translates to Sea of Trees, and then people know it as the Suicide Forest for obvious reasons. But that actually wasn't a given nickname to it until about the 1960s, when there was actually an author who wrote a novel about two lovers that fall in love and end up not being able to be together, and a woman essentially goes into the forest and commits suicide. And after that book was released, there was actually an uptick in suicides in the forest, with multiple people actually holding a copy of the book. And so for a short while, the book was actually banned in Japan to try and deter people from committing suicide there due to the book. It's not currently banned at this point in time.
Yeah.
When was the book written?
In 1960s.
Okay.
Pretty recent. Jesus.
Yeah.
The book can influence people to go to a forest. I assume the same forest in the book to commit suicide.
Well, a lot of people, again, I don't mean to get on a tangent right off the bat, but that dude shot John Lennon over Catcher in the Rye, right? Which is a terrible book. I will take that to my grave. That book sucks.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So that forest did not have a legend of suicide, and then suddenly this book comes out, and then boom.
Well, that's not necessarily the case. The forest didn't have a legend of suicide specifically, but at one point in time, the forest was known as the Abutse, or Ubutse. Basically, it translates to the word abandon or abandon elderly kind of a thing. And this act was basically enabled in times during famine or disease and illness, like if there was a plague or something like that. And what families would do to try and ease the burden would basically take their elderly people and send them out into the forest and allow either starvation, dehydration, or the elements to kind of take out the people. I don't think it sounds like a terrible idea. Fuck those old people. What are they bringing to the family anyway?
Times is tough. Time to go, Grandma.
It's like if you've got a famine going on and it's either you and your kids or Grandma's gotta go.
Imagine being the last old person sitting there and you're just walking across a bunch of just half dead moaning people who just can't, you're just trying to find your way out.
I would rather just get quickly stoned, in the head.
Right.
Big stone, boom.
I'm a fan of the take me out back and shoot me method versus the put me out back.
They had to have been
Yeller
really,
method.
They had to have been really old and decrepit to be able to just die in the forest, because otherwise, if they were young enough old people to live their life the way they did, don't you think they'd get themselves out of the forest or forage?
Well, I feel like they wouldn't have been enough of a burden for them to even put them in the forest to begin with.
Right.
If that was the case.
I
just like that they have their own version of, they just went off to the farm to live out the rest of their life.
They just went to the forest.
You get a walk in the woods,
I wonder if it became illegal at some point to like do that, or if there are still people, not still, but like at some point in time there were people that were like, well, grandma can't wipe her own ass, so.
I kind of want like a Children of the Corn spin-off called like Elders of the Forest or something. You know what I mean?
That would be awful.
The bunch of just limping old people on walkers coming out of the mist, just like,
oh my god.
Totally different movie.
fuck you up, son. You left me in the woods to die.
This time it's personal.
I feel like you just drop off the old people in the forest and it just becomes like an old person's Hunger Games kind of thing where like they all have to come together and kind of fight but also work together.
Resources in the middle.
Yeah.
Grandma's got the shaky 3 fingers going up.
And Michael
but he's got arthritis, so it's like...
Yeah.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory would have been a much different movie if it was set during this time period.
Yeah, it's just Charlie.
That blueberry scene would have been something really bad.
Oh, Grandpa, what are you thinking of now, huh?
Charlie, who are you going to bring with you to the chocolate factory? My dad or mom. Not Grandpa Joe's lazy dead ass.
No, you just have to go get Grandpa Joe back.
Yeah, he has to get him out of the woods. He has to go find. That's the beginning of the movie. That's the first act.
The first movie is him going in.
Grandpa Joe in the woods.
He's just eating chocolate in the woods, just surviving on chocolate.
They dropped him off in Loompa Land, and he's just
they follow
just
like
fighting
a
the
trail
giant
of
bugs and
whatever.
shit. Like
They find Grandpa massively obese. He can't even fit in the house anymore.
this is so morbid
home, like,
that
the
we're making
blueberry
these jokes
girl.
about this. They used to just
The
they used to
blueberry
just
girl.
send people to their deaths, and we're just like, hey man, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory would be hysterical if it was.
I would like to say, I did not say hysterical, I said interesting. But
That's true.
That's what we're here for.
yes.
All right, so they exposure for old people. What else?
Well, so because they used to drop off the old people there, right? That basically kind of sets the scene for the forest to not be a super fantastic place because you think they were going to go retrieve Grandpa's bones after that? No. So, like, you've got hundreds of years of, like, old people's bodies and bones and stuff in there, and probably some salty old people that got stuck out there that might not have been feebly insane, but just physically. So, you know, there's a lot of negative energy that supposedly comes from that went into the forest. And so there are people that believe that the forest itself is actually cursed or has just, like, really malevolent energy in the air kind of a thing. Because of its tragic backstory. So when you get into this idea that people go to the forest to commit suicide, they're adding to that really negative energy. So there are people that think that the trees are actually like malevolent beings in a way, like that they kind of fuck with people. So if you go to the forest, which you can, it's a huge tourist thing. Kids from schools go there on like field trips. They have, like, specific areas that are, like, trails, and there's, like, caves that you can go explore and check out and stuff like that, and it's a big, like, learning thing. And those are all totally normal, but...
I would definitely bring some Big Macs in there.
Keep it in your pocket?
They have lava caves.
Vibes to the forest.
Yeah.
They have lava caves, so you're set.
Yes.
We can crawl all the way to the end of the lava cave.
For any new listeners, Joey and Alan as well, we all took a trip as the Boo Boys up to Flagstaff, and we went through the Flagstaff lava caves. And prior to going there, Ivy, Daniel, and I stopped at McDonald's, and Daniel carried a Big Mac inside the pocket of his hoodie for like the 3 hours it took us to drive up there, get to the cave, and then hike down into the ground and like down the 1.5 miles of the cave. And then when we got to the end, he took it out and tried to eat it, but the cave smelled like sulfur, so he got like 2 bites in, lost all his appetite, and had to shove it back in his pocket and go back out.
And then we reheated it. Then we reheated it over the fire later at the campfire.
He got so drunk.
Pulled it out, and we put it between the like tongs that you like make hot dogs on, and like flipped it on the little grill thing. It was delicious.
Well, and then he forgot he ate it because he had gotten
sponges.
too drunk, and then questioned whether or not somebody else ate it.
Yeah. He was like, "Who ate my Big
Well,
Mac?"
isn't a Big Mac like 30% sulfur anyways to keep it fresh? So I mean, I don't think that
for the totally wrong reasons. It's a Big Mac.
Yeah,
Smell like that.
a Big
When we
Mac
got
is
down
like
there.
it's made of like sponges and sadness. It's not a It's
Broken
not like
dreams is what that is.
Sadness.
yes. Like 25 minutes later, and all the
You've
bun,
never
the bun is
seen
like
Daniel
rock
eat a
hard and
Big
shit.
Mac. That's not
That
sadness.
is pure joy. That's pure joy.
No.
You like Big
Big
Macs
Mac.
that much, bro?
He loves McDonald's.
You have a Big Mac specifically? Over the course.
No, that trip I actually
I don't
introduced
think
him to
we're
the
ready for
hot and
this
spicy, and he'll
conversation's
never be the
intensity.
same.
Take that back, Joey.
Take it.
Over the
Six
quarter
like right
pounder,
now.
you take the Big Mac. Over the quarter pounder.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What about the McRib? What's your opinion on the McRib?
Oh,
I take
God.
spicy McChicken over any of them.
You
Okay,
should
I
just throw the
fucking
whole
get it.
restaurant away, to be honest. But whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah.
God.
Kelly's
I
never
never
enjoyed
really
a
watched
hot and
that. I like.
spicy, so
Daniel, there's a place here. It's called what's it called? The Pizza Depot Express or whatever.
Oh yeah, something
whatever.
like that.
It's by my mom's house, and they make a Big Mac pizza.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's some of the most
That's
Midwest
disgusting.
shit
Big
I've
Mac?
ever heard.
Yeah, that is so Iowa. That's so like corn state.
Iowa.
That's a corn state
Ohio.
shit. It's like we don't have anything
Ohio?
interesting. Let's throw Big Macs on pizzas. Fuck it.
All right,
Yes.
here's what we gotta do. We gotta get that Big Mac pizza. We gotta go to Japan to this forest and eat it.
Do they have
Put
a,
it in your
do they-
pocket.
what's some weird like? They gotta have some weird McDonald's items in Japan, right? You know, because they always have like localized ones.
Yeah.
They gotta have some strange shit that we could carry like Japanese McDonald's.
you
Through
can
the
get a
suicide
fried
forest.
squid sandwich.
Ooh.
That actually sounds kind of nice. But we could do that. They gotta have Big Macs in
You know
Japan,
how
right?
spicy it would be with a little spice of evil on it? That's good.
Yo, I remember when Burger King had the promotion where they had like the black dyed burger where the bun was dyed
Oh,
black.
yeah.
The pretty
Oh,
patties.
right,
It came
yeah.
from like a Japanese promotion where they had black dyed ones and white dyed ones, and I swear to you, this made your shit like lime green, like lime
I don't
green.
know
And I remember like freaking out because I had never,
I'm not sure how to feel about this.
I had never like
I'm
eaten
not-
that much food dye at once, and I looked down, I was like, what the fuck is going on? It just freaked me out, you know. It was,
I think there was a problem with that. They had to actually release a statement about that you weren't sick or something because people kept complaining about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, those people had never had like a blue slushy in their life and like figured it out.
I'm not a fan of the blue flavor usually. I kind of avoid it.
I've had plenty of slushies in my day, and I've never had that problem.
It's
So
never happened
you
to
might
me.
actually
Where
need
you
to get
find
that
your
looked
slushy?
at.
I used to work in a pool as a lifeguard, and we used to have kids that had like not been to the pool before. They'd get like 5 blue slushies in a day, and then later they'd be like, I think I'm sick. I have to go home. And I'd be like, what's wrong? You know, do you feel okay? And they're like, well,
You're gonna confide in your lifeguard like this?
don't get me started on this. Kid.
Oh God.
But yeah, they'd come up to me and I'd be like, oh, did you have a slushie today? And they'd be like, yeah, I had a few slushies. And I'd be like, you're fine.
I don't
Did
think
you
it's
ever-
still
I don't
different, I
think
guess.
That's never happened to me.
No. You're just
Did
like
you ever-
sagely nodding. Yeah, slushy, right? I've been there.
So was that for
sure,
just
dude.
that or all injuries? Did they come to you with like bleeding eyes and you were like, did you drink a slushy today?
Some kid having like an allergic reaction to the fucking pool or like, whatever you guys use in there, and
Did
it's
you
just
have
like
a
the
slushie
skin's all
today?
pink and Ivey. And it's like, you have a slushy? Ah, it's because you're
Yeah,
shit.
you're fine.
These kids have a congregation that just worship Ivy as like this medicine lady. What's wrong with
You'll
you?
eat
Missing finger? Go see Ivy right away. She'll tell you what's wrong with it.
You'll eat some standard colored food soon, and everything will be back to normal.
Just
It's
don't
a-
have the hot dogs. Don't eat a
Yeah.
hot dog. Don't do it.
It's like the apple of Eden. Don't eat the hot dog.
Don't eat the hot dog.
Don't eat the hot dog.
Just have some chips. It'll be okay.
Imagine like, hey, I saw a body in the suicide forest. Did you eat a slushy?
No, but they had
Those
one.
slushies lock me up, man. You know, sometimes you eat a
That's some
slushy
Logan
and then all of a
Paul
sudden it's
energy.
like. Sometimes you eat a slushy and all the fucking bodies just you look up and there's just like people coming from the trees. You know, it's all freaky like that.
All right. So Aokigahara Forest is mostly a volcanic rock floor at this point in time because back in 864 CE or before the Common Era, that was one of the last times that Mount Fuji actually erupted, and it basically coated the entire forest floor. And a lot of the trees and stuff are still able to actually root into the rock, but if they don't, they actually root on top of the volcanic rock. And this can actually cause the trees to have their roots grow above the ground and causes the trees to look like they have like tentacles that come out. which also makes people believe that the trees are evil spirits, basically. Yeah, and so if you ever go into the forest, it's said never to go off the trails because potentially you could be tricked by the forest because the trees will move to disorient you and get you confused to make it to where you can't escape, which ultimately leads you to committing suicide because you have no other choice, and it's either that or to be killed by whatever's in the forest.
I think that's like a clear distinction between Eastern and Western mythologies. Like the walking trees in Western mythologies, like J.R.R. Tolkien, the trees. Where the dude's name was like, Ents. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and Eastern mythology is like the trees will move around and corner you and back you into a corner, and then they'll fuck you with their roots or something like that. Like. You guys ever see the mangrove trees that they have in like Florida, like any kind of swampy area where the root system pokes up above the water? I'm assuming it looks like that. Like I'm trying to picture this.
I sent you a photo of what the tree looked like earlier today.
Yeah, but I did the zoom and it was just
yeah, it does look a lot like that. So it's just a thick like trunk tree, and then you'll have like thinner little trunks sticking out from the bottom, and they look kind of like braided into each other.
You say Western trees are usually, mythical and harmless, but Evil Dead would like to know your location.
That's true. I haven't seen that movie in a while, but yes.
Also, they move like how Dalton and the book.
Well, yeah, where the roots are like walking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's more so the intention
they're
behind
a little more benevolent, though.
Yeah. And I'm sure, like, just knowing this is near Mount Fuji, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I don't have like a great handle on the geography of Japan, but I'm pretty sure that's like an area that's more like kind of similar to the Pacific Northwest as far as like humidity goes. So I'm sure it's foggy as fuck in that forest as like dawn and dusk hours.
It gets really misty.
You're trying to find your way out of there, and you come across some like root system like that, and you're like, this tree was over there, but the roots, and you're all like, inside your own head, just freaking yourself out.
So the forest. The forest in itself is 14 miles, like, wide, which to me doesn't sound like it's really that big, but what can happen is you get turned around, and even if you think you're walking straight, you could be veering off into a different direction. Yeah. So, the forest in itself is so dense, and the trees are so tall that you really lose sense of what direction you're going in, to where you can't even hear the wind sometimes, because there's just so much. Like, so many trees in the way. You just don't know where you're going.
I guess we were talking about, like, angry spirits of the old people left there, but is there any kind of legend of, like, a specific cryptid or something of the sort that, like, roams the forest or rules the forest and shit like that?
So, the rulers of the so-called forest are technically called... The technical rulers, let's say cryptid-wise, of the forest are going to be the Yuri, which are basically ghosts of the dead in the forest. They aren't necessarily, I would say they're not necessarily bad, but some of them do have ill intentions. But for the most part, they are said to be neutral because they're not really looking to invoke more people into the forest. They really just want to have either the curse removed so that they can leave and go into the afterlife, or their conflicts resolved so that they can leave. So for the most part, there are people that think that the ghosts are who confused you to, like, kill yourself in the forest. But most people believe that that's actually the evil, like, spirits from the trees and stuff, which aren't the same as the people that go to the forest intentionally to commit suicide.
So, to be clear, the curse started from people leaving their elders out there to basically die to the elements. Is that correct?
That's what they think. That's the oldest rumor.
Okay, so are they what
they would be like the malevolent, like, energy that takes over the trees. And it causes you to become disoriented and lose your way, and it causes you to kind of internalize bad thoughts and essentially just start thinking to yourself, like, I'm never going to get out of here, there's no point in living, I'm just going to go ahead and end it all.
I would say it kind of mimics the old people dying there, right? Cause it's like,
yeah, probably.
And so then they started dying in the 60s,
So there were still people prior to the 60s that would go kind of just end it in the forest, so that way people didn't necessarily find them. But in the 60s, when that novel came out, that's when it really kind of, like, hit up, and that's when they started realizing that was more of a destination.
Gotcha. And was that like a peak in the 60s, or did it?
It
continue
peaked
just as a
mostly in the
gradual-
70s, and that's when they banned the book for a while. So it's a very big thing if you ever go visit the forest that you're not supposed to go off the trails. Like there are very specific trails that only go a certain deep depth into the forest. But of course, there are always people that are going to try and go past that. So some people are said to like tape trees so that way they can find their way back out. There's also, they call them, the forest guardians are kind of like security that go around and they like check on people that go for the trails and stuff on a daily basis. And they'll walk around and make sure people aren't necessarily like lost just right off the trails or try to help them out if they're having any issues. But if they find anybody who's wandering throughout the forest, they'll try to convince them not to end it if that's what it seems like they're trying to do. And these guardians also, whenever they see someone camping in the forest, which is a big thing people do too, if they see a tent, they assume that means that they're doubting their idea of actually committing suicide. Because people that typically go into the forest to commit suicide, they're not going to take a tent. Why would you do that? But people who take a tent are doing it because they plan to spend time there to think over their actions. So if they find a tent, they'll actually like look for you and try to talk you out of whatever you may be thinking about doing, or just talk you out of getting out of the forest, because they're really big into not staying in the forest overnight, because that's when the Yuri would be the most prevalent.
So if the Yuri and the whole curse and everything, so when did the positive spirits get introduced? What caused those to be a catalyst in this?
There
whole
are no
equation?
positive spirits.
So what about the spirits that you said are trying to get them out safely, though?
They're
Like,
not
who are
trying to
they?
get anybody out safely. They're neutral. They want themselves to get out. There's their own curse to be broken, their own like conflicts to be resolved. So essentially they would try to go towards a living person and try to help or try to get you to help them, which would be misconstrued as you being like tormented by a ghost.
Okay.
Okay. That makes sense.
So the ghosts there are all like, I need to crossing Jordan and bother the people, and the people just don't really like get it.
Right, because
they're
you
not.
just have this like negative energy basically attaching
Right.
itself to you, and it wants something, but it can't really convey it to you. So it just basically drains your own energy in a way.
Mm-hmm. Then,
So are there any ideas on how to actually break the curse, or is it just there?
It's not a
There.
specific curse, because the curse would be the malevolent energy that was caused by hundreds of years of people dying in the forest. So unless
Like
you found a
generational.
way to like Ghostbuster all of the spirits there, there's no breaking
Or
the
maybe-
curse.
maybe exercise the entire forest. Like tons of exorcists.
I think you have to have very specific details in order to complete an exorcism. You can't just be like, I exorcise this and it be done. Like, you have to know the name
This house
and
is
information about what you're trying to exorcise, which is why it's really hard for churches to even do exorcisms.
You're also going into a place where, like, I mean, they're not Catholic over there for the most part, or something like that. So it's
You're right,
You're not going to see anything with this exorcism. They're not going to take it as like lifting a curse. At least I don't think they would. You know, I could be wrong.
Do you have any specifics on like the numbers, like the peaks of the suicide and everything?
So, funny enough, they actually used to keep specific numbers on the amount of people that would actually go through there, but in the mid-2000s, they started to see a large incline from 1970 to the mid-2000s, around 2008. That's when they started to see an incline in suicides, which I'd even wager to say that in the 2000s, suicide in general kind of started to spike up a lot all over the place, not just obviously in this forest, but even I feel like in the US and stuff, like suicides were just a lot bigger in the 2000s. Not that they've necessarily gotten better, but it was just more of a thing with emo music, at least that I was aware of. But in the mid-2000s, they started seeing the numbers go up, and they were afraid that the number counts were potentially giving people ideas because they were seeing how many people were going to this location and thinking possibly like, oh, this is a decent place to go. So they actually stopped publicly posting them in 2011 And so the last bit of numbers that they had in 2011 was 171 people that they found.
And part of that whole thing, the reason that you see, well, not the reason, but one of the reasons you see such an incline during that time is in Japan, that was around the time the introduction of what's called the salaryman existed. So a salaryman essentially is you start from the bottom of a company and then you work your way up through a Japanese company. But the difference between Japanese and, say, American businesses is if a CEO here loses his job, he can get a job as a CEO in another company. In Japan, if you lose your job as a CEO, they don't look at that and you have to start from the bottom again. So if you have a man who's like 45, worked in the same company since he was 18, and now he has to start at a new company all over again, some people would just prefer ending it there.
There's a word for that too. I'm pretty sure it's like I remember there was a word because it was a terrible Flash game that was just making fun of that. That was just you're a salary man just trying to kill yourself, and I think it was called Kuroshi.
5 minutes to die.
Something like that. But I brought this or I pulled up data on this because I always thought that Japan had one of the highest suicide rates in the world.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Now looking at it, they're actually 30th, so they're a little bit down here. But I mean, like, I guess 30th out of 200 something countries is still a very high number. But
I mean, I guess, but at the same time, you know, it may just be sort of like when a huge part of the suicide forest is hearing that, most people are like, oh, suicide must be big in Japan. If you have a place really named after suicide. But no, it's not true. Their rates aren't higher than any other country, I would say. But because of that forced title, I'm sure it's caused that misconception.
I don't know. Their numbers got to be pretty bad to install like safety nets on their buildings.
Well, that's not Japan.
That's Japan.
That's like, really? I thought
yeah.
sweatshop areas.
No, that's Taiwan Japan. Their high buildings have safety nets from a certain level because people have jumped off the roofs too much or jumped out of windows.
Yeah. You're getting crushed on fucking street level. Or not even just crushed, you're just walking and some fucking dude just splats right in front of you.
I mean, I'm sure that's part of it too, is just public safety. I think, honestly, that every country should have that in large buildings.
Well, it mostly started happening when there wasn't a cap on hourly work times. And so people were working like 30 hours straight for days on end. And then they basically were going insane without sleep. And there's a documentary on Hulu you can watch about it.
Wow.
It's also causing a problem with population in Japan where their next generations aren't replacing their previous fully, because as more and more women enter the working world, because of the type of place it is, if they have to leave for pregnancy, anything like that, it'll set them so far behind their peers that they just don't want to have kids. So that's why they're trying to figure out how to stop that.
That and who wants to compare with a virtual boyfriend or 2D girl?
Yeah, they got 2D boyfriends and girlfriends there, don't they? But just for context, so Japan is 30th and the U.S. is 34th. So we're right behind them.
So is Japan 30th just in a number annually, or is it 30th by population volume?
This was specifically in 2016, which is where these numbers were collected from.
But she brings up a good point. Is it by numbers or is it by like suicide?
Oh, it's per capita. It's based on per 100,000 people. Number 1 is Guyana, which, I mean, doesn't necessarily... So, like, Guyana, Lesotho, and Russia are the top 3. Most places on Earth are depressed.
I don't know if this is still true, but I know in recent history, I watched this documentary, and they said that Russia still has a cannibal problem amongst citizens.
That's not surprising.
Same like Brazil and the Amazon food.
That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how is it not easier to kill anything else and eat that?
Because you're drunk.
Taste for human flesh when you're drunk? What are you talking about?
Well, Bill's right there. You might as well just go for that. It's a lot easier than going out and hunting down a bear.
Well, where did you get the alcohol from? There's probably food there too.
It's Russia. There's vodka everywhere. It's in their taps.
I mean, Russia didn't regard things as like alcohol, so I think recently, like anything under
in
like
the 90s.
8% alcohol, they saw as soft drinks.
Yeah,
like beer with a soft drink there, or at least American beer. They might have some insane beer over there.
I don't know. They got some pretty weak ass beers too.
Those are soft drinks.
Those are for kids.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Our soft drinks
For the
have
kids' table.
had cocaine. They need to step their game up.
The Forest Guardians complete a search along with police, volunteers, and some journalists annually to look for new bodies that potentially may be in the forest. And the main two ways that they typically find people have offed themselves are either by hanging or by drug overdose. And so whenever they do find one of these bodies, they basically put it onto a truck, and they take that truck 2 miles down from the start of the forest or from wherever they are to this special building that has a special room, it's like a little morgue, that they'll lay the bodies onto beds. And if the bodies have to stay overnight, the guards will play rock, paper, scissors to try and determine who has to stay in the room overnight. Because if nobody stays in the room overnight, then the ghosts or the yuri of the dead bodies are said to basically just like come out, and they'll start screaming and disrupting the entire room. So if one of the guards stays in the room overnight, that doesn't happen. So they have to sleep in the room with dead bodies that they found that could be potentially a year old, depending on when they do the search.
There has to be some like precedent for that. There has to have been some time when they. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to have been, but there.
I mean, it had to have happened at least once for them to have to do it every time.
There was a time that no one was in the room, and then shit started going haywire in the building, and they just heard screaming. You know, like had to have happened, or at least.
Well, isn't that just how wives' tales happen? Like someone hears a noise, like a pen fell, and then after the 30th story, it turns into that.
Yeah.
I don't know, at what point do you just install cameras?
Like that forest.
Can cameras catch ghosts?
If they're knocking shit around, I feel like you'd at least catch that.
Yeah.
True.
Questions, thoughts, concerns?
You gotta sit in this room with this dead body overnight?
No, you're gonna sleep in there with it. You also get a bed.
Do I have to sleep?
I mean, you're gonna.
Isn't there a hygiene issue with that, or is it like an actual morgue where they have like the drawers and stuff?
They just hit it with Lysol. It's fine.
I don't know.
Got it.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
if the body's a year old, isn't
light
the
a
spirit
candle.
already gone? Like,
No.
shit.
No. Just no.
No.
I guess one last question I have is, we talked about the book banning, we talked about they searched the forest, they talked about they've tracked the numbers. Has Japan actually done anything to sort of curb the suicide rates in general, like nipping it off at the butt? You know what I mean?
There
'Cause,
are
like, for example,
signs
America,
through all of the trails that say, your family will miss you, think of your friends, like, don't do it, everybody loves you, blah, blah, blah. There are forest guardians that patrol around that try to talk
Right.
people out of doing things. They will talk to people that have tents and stuff like that. In general, there are volunteers and tourists and stuff just around all the time that are supposed to basically say something if they see something. But overall, like, there's nothing that Japan can ultimately do. Like, if people want to go to the forest and kill themselves, they can't stop them.
Oh, by the way, that's why earlier I talked about good spirits, because when you said forest guardians, I thought you meant like guardian spirits.
No,
I
they're
didn't know you meant,
people.
like, people. Oh, okay.
They're the
that makes
dudes
more
that have
sense.
to sleep in the room with the dead bodies. They're called forest guardians.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And
So
I
when
explained
you
it.
were
I
talking
said
about
forest guardians, like security for the forest.
I was thinking like the owls from that stupid movie I couldn't get through. You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
my god, that Zack Snyder movie about owl cartoons? What was it? The Guardians of Gahul or something like that.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Cool. Any
But-
other questions, comments, or concerns?
Comments, I guess. I think it's kind of interesting that Japan is going this far with like trying to patrol this forest, to stop suicides. When my understanding of the culture was like it's very hands off of what other people do. Like you do your business for the sake of the community, and that's pretty much it. You mind your own business, basically. So
They're
I
still
don't know,
really
like,
against
it doesn't-
suicide out there.
That's more
Yeah.
of a respect sort of thing. So it's respectful to kind of keep to yourself and not bother others, but at the same time, there's still a level of what's the word?
Well, we don't
Humanity
want our
that
population
would
to go
stop you
down.
from- I mean, it's just like I said, the culture itself sees it as respectful, but you're not going to let someone kill themselves out of respect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right.
I mean, they
Yeah.
do at the same time, though.
Yeah, anything you could apply that thought to America, where it's more individualistic, where it's like, everything's a lot more self-centered instead of like Japan, where it's more collectivist, where it's more like community. So I
Right.
guess you would care more about other people killing themselves there,
Right.
as opposed to here. But obviously, I'm not saying no one cares if you.
I wonder if you can do like a like a safety call on someone in Japan. I mean, I'm sure you can.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe.
I would assume that's in place, but I mean, I don't know. Any of us live there, of course, or have visited. Have any of us visited?
I have not, no.
No.
It seems like an overwhelming place to visit, honestly. It's like, at least Tokyo does. I have friends who visited Tokyo, and then I see the pictures they have, and it looks like Times Square fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
It seems overwhelming.
It's like an endless city.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, here's something interesting. So I was also curious if like Japan does have like a suicide hotline like other countries do.
They do.
They have one that's been around for 47 years. Yeah. So.
Yeah, older.
47 years. Wow.
Imagine calling the suicide hotline.
The 70s.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Sorry,
How big is the forest?
14
miles wide.
14 miles.
God.
is that just like square miles or miles
Square.
in direction one way? Square, okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty easy size. Yeah, I don't really think that you can control the whole thing besides putting up a giant fence.
Well, there's only so many trails, and you can't drive through the forest, and they also don't allow the guardians to be there after dark.
See, what you gotta do is you gotta put up a giant wall. That'll stop them.
We're gonna build a great wall around the forest. We're gonna curb the suicides. No one's gonna get through the wall. Tremendous wall.
Lower suicides. Lower than China's.
We're gonna make China.
We're gonna make China pay for it.
China's good at walls. We'll make them do it.
We're gonna make the spirit pay for it. How about that?
We'll make the spirits pay for it.
Oh no.
Did any of you guys ever see The Forest, the movie?
Oh,
with like Natalie Dormer or whatever her name is?
Yes. I feel like I've at least seen the intro.
I saw commercials for it.
She like goes to find her sister who like stays in the forest or whatever.
Her twin sister disappeared in there, and she like I remember watching the first 30 minutes or so over my roommate's shoulder while they were watching it.
It was an interesting movie. So, Doji, this guy, this demon.
Wow.
I'll throw it out again.
Isn't Schwinn a bike company?
Yes. They make beach cruises.
Let me see your hip.
He is said to have been born what most would call a demi-human. He essentially was born to a human mother and a great dragon Yamada father. And so his father was the great dragon Yamada no Orochi, and so this caused him to basically be kind of split, where he looked exactly like a regular human and had seemed everything normal and fine until he got to the age of 5 and was able to speak and talk with an intelligence that basically scared people, and he had a strength that weirded people out because, you know, a kid of his size shouldn't have been able to lift up carts and stuff like he could. So people in the village were afraid of this kid, and at age 6, his mother abandoned him because she could no longer take the criticism from the people in the village. So as an orphan, he became an apprentice to a priest, and he was so smart that he basically kind of just gave up studying because he felt like he just knew it all. And he would start slacking off and go drinking and hang out with other people that he shouldn't have been hanging out with, because monks don't drink or have social lives, essentially. So he would get in trouble all the time.
Yeah, I guess so.
So
Sounds like you went to ASU.
He became known as the Shuten-dōji, and which basically it translates to the little drunkard. And as he was able to outdrink anybody that tried to challenge him, he just like never lost. And that's a big no-no in the monk world. Like, you can't be a winning, challenging drinker. Like, that's not okay.
They'll
How
take your
was his
robes
beer
for that.
pong shot? That's the real question.
So one night at a festival, he drunkenly dons on an Oni mask, which is basically like, it looks kind of like a demon, ogre, troll. It's a really stereotypical mask that you see nowadays. I feel like it's really mass-produced. It's like, there's an emoji for it too, where it's like that red mask with the little yellow tusks that stick upwards, and he's got like the furrowed eyebrows and little horns. Like, it's a pretty obvious thing if you were to see it. Right. So he put on a mask that looks similar to that. And he was playing pranks on the other priests during the festival. And towards the end of the night, when he went to take off the mask, it had actually fused to his face, and he wasn't able to take it off. Since he had been playing pranks on the priests all night, they refused to help him, thinking this was just another prank. He, in a panic, was like, well, shit, I guess nobody cares and is gonna help me. So he decided that he was just gonna leave then. So he skirted off to the outskirts of Kyoto and essentially started to steal food and alcohol and, basic essentials to live. And he built his own little, house out on the outskirts of the town. Eventually, over time, he started to kind of collect this, ragtag group of friends that became a gang that were, criminals and thugs that wanted to, hang out and be outlaws together. And over time, he actually found another half demi-human that had similar traits to him, another kid. And so he, adopted the kid in a sense and made him his apprentice to be the next, piece of shit. And he taught all his thugs.
Son, you will be the next piece of shit. Carry on my honor.
He taught all his thugs and this child all of his own dark magic and just ultimate fighting skills that he knew, and eventually rampaged through Kyoto and began capturing virgins to drink their blood and eat their organs raw to gain their power.
Ooh.
This fucking
That escalated really quick.
quickly.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Well, when you're dealing with dark magic, obviously, the villagers didn't really like that their virgins were getting snatched up every weekend. So,
Damn it, those are worth like
Taking
3
them up
goats.
that virgin. Hell.
a warrior and his warrior friends were sent out to essentially either rescue the virgins or take care of the problem. And the way that they came up with this idea was they knew that Doji was a huge drunk. So they decided to take poisoned sake up to his little ragtag house. And basically they were like, let's hang out, let's chill, bet you can't outdrink me. And he was like, fucking bet, and took him on the challenge. So he drank a shit ton of this poisoned sake along with the rest of his little friends because they also wanted to drink. And so he and his crew all got super fucked up, super poisoned. And while he was poisoned, they decided to cut off his head. But he wasn't dead, he was just incapacitated. So as they cut off his head, he kept trying to bite the warrior. And so what they decided to do is they took his head and they buried it outside of Kyoto. And it's said that his head still remains there to this day. And the poison that they actually used to poison the sake can be found in a temple in Kyoto.
Yeah. And so wait, does he still roam there, or does the head is just alive and just screams at people? Or
They buried the head.
Yeah. So he haunts that site or something.
So the head is in the ground somewhere.
Yeah, I know, but
probably not screaming at people because it's buried.
So do you mean are you talking?
I'm sure if he is, it's very
much
much.
horseman type of thing, Daniel? Like the body just roams around by itself?
Isn't he a demon?
Yeah, it's half.
Okay.
What happened to the apprentice?
I'm assuming they just took out his whole clan, but they weren't as powerful as he was. Because the apprentice was still a kid.
Does the spirit do anything? Does this demon do anything to haunt people currently, or is this an urban legend of that his?
No, it's just an urban legend.
It's this just the legend of head still exists somewhere.
It's just an urban legend. It's not. He's not currently doing anything. But he's basically used as an insult for anybody that's being gluttonous towards alcohol.
Gotcha.
Has anyone tried to find the head? I mean, is there a place where the head is? Or is it
it's buried outside Kyoto, but I don't really think...
Go find a demon head.
Pretty sure people in Japan respect tradition too much to go try and, dig it up.
Yeah, no. It's not like Blackbeard.
Yeah,
people have been in that swamp, I don't know how many times looking for that.
Oh, you're talking about Oak Island or whatever it is?
Yes.
One of those things where they have a History Channel show about trying to find this treasure, and then they just if you have the budget to make a show, you have the budget to find this fucking treasure, bro. Just stop making the show and dig the treasure.
Well, and also
they want royalties.
And also his head is missing in a swamp in South Carolina somewhere.
Oh, there's something different.
So, like, yes, his treasure is, like, supposedly in Oak Island or whatever, but his head actually got blown off and nobody ever found it, and it's in some swamp in South Carolina, supposedly.
That's like people that say that they never found the treasure for the Lost Dutchman.
Yeah. Matthew Junction.
The treasure was meth crystals the whole time.
The real treasure was in the streets the whole time.
Why did the mask get glued onto his face? Was that ever really delved into?
I assume it's just kind of like a karma thing or a demon thing.
It's kind of like the boy who cried wolf like times 10. You know, the boy who cried wolf, but he steals virgins and drinks their blood.
Well, it was the boy who cried wolf because he was playing pranks and like jumping out and scaring the priests prior to virgin killing and drinking.
So, is there like a timeline of when this occurred based on like compared to like modern year? Just because it sounds like this is something that is almost would be like, I don't want to say recent history, but recent enough that it would have been after the start of their recorded history. Like, is there a time like they say like, I don't know, maybe 1000 BC or something? I don't know how old Japan's history is, but
it's pretty far back.
Pretty fucking old.
I know it goes far back. I just don't know how far.
986 to 1011.
Okay. Wow. It's really long.
It says that the party for the warrior left Kyoto in 995.
Okay.
This is an old ass head.
Yeah. And that's a pretty cool interaction for like something Oni likes.
So the demon in himself, I didn't really get to mention this part. He said that when he's awake, he is in his like human-esque form. But when he's asleep, he turns into his regular form, which takes after his father, which is a 50-foot in height body with a red skinned body, 5-horned head, and 15 eyes. One leg is white while the other is black. His arms were yellow and blue.
Sure.
Interesting.
Hey, bro, is Donnie asleep? Nah, bro, you'd know if Donnie was asleep. You'd know if he was asleep.
You get your room retired, dog.
I will not fit in the room.
Imagine you this dude falls asleep in class and the whole building collapses.
Yeah.
He falls asleep. He falls asleep.
Yeah, just crushes a bunch of people.
We needed a valley there. You're right.
Yeah.
No, he just falls asleep in church and...
You're making me sleepy. You wouldn't like me when I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy.
No.
It's honestly fucking scary, though. Like, imagine you're hanging out with someone, they just, like, you know, they're tired. You're, like, on your way back to their place, and they just grow 50 feet and just collapse onto the ground, and you're trying to make sense of it. Yep.
You imagine being a police driver and he's in the back of your car?
Yeah. We could load him on the semi-trailer, but what if he... Like, what happens then?
Like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park 2.
Any questions, comments, or concerns?
I wanted to bring up something about this because you sent me when I asked like what does it look like. You sent me some art.
Oh yeah, that.
You sent me some like more classical art that is actually more in tune with the mythology, and then you sent me some art that was like from one of some like weed mobile game where it was like
I was like let's not sugarcoat it.
Yeah,
It's
it was
weed
like
shit.
sexy anime girl lingerie type shit.
Yep.
And I was looking at this like this is a demon. Okay, well I guess this is where we're going now.
Did
I
you
want to talk
have
about
a question?
Where do you guys think that came from? Yeah, like I understand that doesn't tie into the mythology at all.
What weeby game is it
Can you
from?
format your statement into the form of a question, please?
My statement in the form of a question is why they give this demon titties?
I mean, it's Japan. Don't they give everything titties out there?
Rule 34.
Yeah, Rule 34.
But in fairness, in the game, they did make her like this like pale white, weirdly like thin, no tittied monster thing. Like she really didn't have titties. I don't know why they did that. But if you look at the game, it's called like Fate something. It's a mobile game. And it's just one of those like clicky like game things. You just like sit there and tell this stuff to battle consistently. But there are a number of demons that artists have taken their own kind of liberties with, and they've
Liberties.
changed a bunch of them into random titty demons for whatever reason, even though they look nothing like the actual descriptions of the demons themselves.
People will do anything.
So,
for
and those renditions, are they demi-thick?
No, not all of them.
Some of them.
Not this one.
But that was good. I like that. Yeah, thank you.
If we cut out all the times we talked about anime, this episode should be about 14 minutes long, so that'll be...
You would be
Pretty good.
surprised. You know, we haven't talked about vasectomies yet.
Not yet.
God,
But now
no,
that you mentioned
we're
it.
doing the outro. No.
We did talk about rubber band castration, though.
Mhm.
We
True.
did.
Yeah, I'm
True.
surprised it
There
didn't
was
go
some
there,
talk of
honestly.
penis.
Surprisingly, not on my radar.
Like, I was
No,
ready
I-
for it. I was ready
We
for
also-
it.
yeah. We also talked about whether rigor mortis makes you hard, and that was more penis talk, and
I'm
no,
off
no
today.
vasectomy
I'm off
there.
Even
Yeah.
Rapunzel, I thought it would
It
come
does.
out then, because then, you
I
wouldn't have
think
had to
it's just
worry about
because
any
the
of that.
topics didn't really involve anything about actual reproduction.
That's
so
true.
I think that's why. But I could just be off. I don't know. Got to recalibrate.
For your
So
sake,
about
Alan,
vasectomy.
Kelly has a vasectomy, and he loves to push vasectomies onto other people that join the call.
Every single person should get a vasectomy. if they
Well,
can.
just know I'm an easy
I'll go
sale,
with
so
Kelly, I'll do it. I'll do it if
you're like the
cut
Bob
it for me.
Barker for humans.
I'll do it.
He is.
What?
You'll cut it for me.
Spay and
No,
neuter
Daniel
yourself
wants
today.
you to do it, Kelly.
I'll do it.
For him.
I'll look you in the eye while you do it.
No. You make the
No.
cut for
First off, you
Daniel.
need to be looking at the thing you're
I know.
wait.
I'm saying I will do it. I will do it, and I will look you in the eye while I do it.
Wow.
We should be looking at the thing you're going to snip. What if you miss?
What about this? What about it?
You were saying you wanted Daniel to do it, like What if you some miss? hard candy scene situation, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go through all that.
Kelly,
Yeah,
you're gonna
like,
get
what if
sad
you
at me that
It's like when they fuck up a circumcision on a baby. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause that happens.
Do they
And
just
you
sew it back
you just
on and
completely
then
miss and
try
you cover
again?
it. Okay.
But here's the thing.
We should probably
if
do
you
the outro
miss
before I talk about
on the vasectomy, you can just remove the whole problem area altogether, and effectively, the effect is the same either way. Like, you're not removing the
Well,
fun part.
No, because
Right?
to miss a vasectomy means
That's
you cut the
okay.
dick off.
No, just the balls.
Like,
Depending on where you miss.
All right. Well, my name's Dalton.
I'm Ivy.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Joey.
I'm Alan.
And we're the Boo Boys. Go ahead and follow us on all the social media. Most active on Instagram. We are on YouTube, Reddit, Facebook, and TikTok. There's no content on TikTok, but if you have an idea, you let me know and I will make it. Bye!
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Perfect.